The Miami Heat may have a Tyler Herro problem coming down the court, waves off Bam, calls for ISO, uses the Bam screen, wants to clear out, back around the Bam screen, crosses around the screen and pulls for three. Kaboom! Tyler Herro cuts the deficit to 36 points as he screams, "I'm him." Now, anytime I make a video about Herro, I have to start off by saying this or else the Herro stans will come and attack me in the comments, which is appreciated because it still helps the algorithm. So make sure y'all drop your comments down below and subscribe. But anyways, I am a fan of Tyler Herro. I like Tyler Herro and I think he's a good basketball player. Otherwise, I wouldn't proudly show off my Tyler Herro bobblehead, which I'm gonna put right here for the rest of the video, just so y'all know that I do like Herro. And we will say some positive things about him in this video. But we can't deny the fact that his recent play has been pretty poor, especially if you go based off since when he was announced as an all-star. If you look at his first 45 games prior to being an all-star, that was from October 23rd to January 29th, Tyler Herro was absolutely hooping. And I was campaigning for him to make the all-star team, and he did, rightfully so, because he was averaging 24 points per game, almost 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 47% from the field, and an incredible 40% from 3 on almost 10 attempts per night. And that was in 45 games. But in the 19 games since being announced an all-star, which is a decent sample size, and I'm not saying that there's a coincidence here or there's a correlation between Herro being announced an all-star and then he stopped trying. I don't think that's the case. Obviously, making the all-star team was a personal goal for Tyler Herro, and it just seems like he did everything he can to get to that point, and now maybe he's just running out of gas because in the 19 games since, he's only averaging 22 points per game. That's down by 2 from where he started the season at. He is still averaging about five rebounds and almost 7 assists, which is pretty good. But it's the efficiencies that is really concerning here because he's shooting 42% from the field, which is down from the 47 that he was at in the first half of the season. And the three-point percentage is just terrible. In that 19-game span, he's now at 28% from 3 on 9 attempts per game. That's a 12 percentage point decrease from where he was at the first 45 games of the season. And that's just awful. Now, I don't want to gloss over the facilitating stuff because that 6.6 assist is still over 1 assist more than his first half of the season, which is really good. And he's doing it with 2.8 turnovers in that span. That's good enough for a 2.4 assist to turnover ratio, which isn't bad. I mean, an assist to turnover ratio of 3 is considered really good, and Tyler Herro is close to that. So I don't want to just neglect the playmaking leap that he has taken this season. But at the end of the day, Tyler Herro is looked at to be our offensive guy, the guy that can score the ball for us. And recently, he just hasn't been doing that to the level that we've seen him be capable of, or the level that he's saying he is capable of. We talk all the time about the whole hashtag same conversation thing where he said he wants to be in the same conversation as Luka and Trey and John Morant. And we joke, none of those guys made the All-Star team this year. Tyler Herro did. John Morant didn't play last night, but meanwhile, Herro's the one that's fragile. We joke about all that stuff, but truthfully, if you watch the games, those guys truly are just on another level than Tyler Herro right now because there's too many games where Tyler Herro really doesn't show up. I mean, last night, the Heat lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, their 7th straight loss. A game where you think these players would start to show some heart and say, damn, we got to get the hell out of this losing streak. We just lost 5 games in a row at home. We're on the road. Let's get together. No John Morant. I'm Tyler Herro. Let me ball the hell out tonight. But Tyler Herro scored 8 points. He got outscored by Luke Kennard, Scottie Pippen Jr., Brandon Clark. And it's not like I'm just cherry picking games like that because everyone is entitled to bad nights, of course. But there's too many games like this for a guy who's up for a max extension in a few months, for a guy that made an all-star team. You can't keep having these games like this where you're really just a no-show, truthfully. Now, Tyler Herro is a super skilled offensive player, but for me, it's the IQ that's been the most frustrating part this year. We got a few clips I want to go through now from the last couple of weeks, and truthfully, these are just the ones that have been haunting me, keeping me up at night. If we really dig deep and looked at every single game, we could find tons of clips, but That'll also take me hours of research, and this video would be hours long. So the first clip that I want to look at is from when the Heat lost to the New York Knicks in overtime just 2 weeks ago. If y'all remember, that's when Bam Adebayo was cooking the entire night. He started that overtime with back-to-back, very difficult mid-range jumpers, and he was being the star that he has become to be over these last couple of weeks. Although his last 3 games for Bam haven't been great. But obviously, he's really taken over as sort of a huge offensive threat since Jimmy Butler is out, right? But the point is, Bam's the captain. He was taking over in that fourth quarter. At this point, after those 2 mid-range jumpers, the Heat were up 2 with just 3 minutes to go. Tyler Herro got a rebound. They have a chance to go up double digits in or 2 possessions in overtime. And I'm thinking, yes, get the ball to Bam Adebayo. Let him go to work because they cannot guard him. They're trying to put Towns on him. They're trying to put OG Anunoby on him, and nothing is working. Bam is becoming unstoppable right before our eyes. And what does Tyler Herro do with the ball? With the Heat being up 2 points, Tyler Herro gets the rebound, runs down to the top of the key, and shoots an awful transition 3. Something that he's been doing all season, really his whole career. And the thing with the transition 3, the pull-up, no ball moving 3, is it's clearly not a good shot. Now, I have given Tyler Herro credit for hitting that shot in the past. He's not bad at that shot, but I like that shot when Herro is playing well. It's a good heat check shot. It's a great momentum shifting shot. You know, if Herro was 5 or 6 from the 3-point line, then he decides to do that, fine. But at that spot in the game, when Tyler Herro was not playing well that game, Bam Adebayo was playing amazing, just hit back-to-back possessions, and then to not even let Bam touch the ball that possession, to not get any ball movement whatsoever, to just jack up that shot in that spot, oh, it's the most frustrating thing. And I remember even at the time, John Crotty and Eric Reed are like, that's not a good shot. Now, of course, we're talking in hindsight. If Herro would have made it, we're all celebrating it. But the facts are, he did not make the shot. I think we're allowed to look at it in hindsight. Because again, I promise you, we're not cherry picking here. This same exact shot has happened many times, and we'll get into a few more examples in a little bit. But it's happened so many times, and it just continues to be so frustrating, the lack of IQ that Tyler Herro was showing late in these games. Like, he's shooting a heat check shot while shooting terrible. Who does that? Terry Rozier, I guess, but that's kind of my point. Fast forward to like a week later, when the Heat were playing the Chicago Bulls, obviously a monster game, a team that's like now a game behind us in the standings. They were like 5 games back. Now they're just 1 game back of us in the standings. But it was late in the fourth quarter. The Heat were up 3 with 2.5 minutes to go. The Heat are on the verge of blowing another double-digit lead. They were up 17. Now they're only up 3. A couple minutes to go. Monster possession of the game. Another chance, just like the Knicks game, to get up 2 possessions and really start to, close the door on any kind of Bulls comeback. And what does Tyler Herro do? He gets a rebound, runs down the court, and takes another awful transition 3. This time it was blocked by Josh Giddey. You can't continue to take these no ball movement shots, not get anyone else involved. Try to go to Bam Adebayo to get an easy look, or try to even get into your mid-range game. Or Herro's been better at getting to the rim this year. Try that. But just to settle time and time again for these transition 3s is stupid. It was so fast in transition, Bam Adebayo didn't even have time to turn around and see Josh Giddey coming and say, hey, watch behind, watch behind. You can't blame the teammates for that. He put it up so quick, there was no chance anyone could have even told Herro to look behind him. It's a terrible shot. And that's a consistent theme with Herro late in these games where anytime the Heat need a basket, it's Herro fadeaway 3, coming off a screen, fadeaway left, fadeaway right. It's just not a good shot. And I want to even go to more recently, to last night's game, where the Heat got absolutely killed by the Memphis Grizzlies. And they had this run in the third quarter where the Heat were looking really good. I think Bam only had a couple of points in the first half, but he got into that third quarter and he was absolutely cooking. It seemed like Bam said, okay, I've had enough. I have to make my imprint on this game. So Bam Adebayo came to that third quarter. He hit a 3 right away. He had a great dunk off a nice outlet pass for Tyler Herro. So again, I want to give Herro credit. He has found Bam Adebayo a lot this season. I wish he would do it more, but he found Bam Adebayo on this play. So now Bam had a nice dunk. Then Bam hit another 3 off a Tyler Herro pick and pop. So now Bam's already up to, 8 points in the quarter? And then Bam is going, he's aggressive. He gets a rebound, goes coast to coast, draws a foul on Jaren Jackson Jr., hits both free throws. Bam's up to 10 points. I think he had 10 of the team's first 12 points in that quarter. because Andrew Wiggins also got a floater. So Bam Adebayo is absolutely cooking. The Heat are going on their run. They're looking to make this a game. And then what does Tyler Herro do? He shoots a heavily contested spinning fadeaway mid-range shot on Jalen Wells, who is one of the better perimeter defenders in the NBA, especially among rookies. That's another problem with Tyler Herro is it's like all these 30-point games are fun and exciting, but as soon as Herro plays one of the elite defenders on another team, he usually doesn't show up. I mean, look what he does against, we just said Jalen Wells, 8 points. He gets shut down by Lou Dort this season. Like, it's every time Herro is guarded by athletic size that can press him, he starts forcing or he's not even able to get shots off. And the honest reality is that's not the sign of a guy who could be the best scorer on a championship team. It's just not. Maybe a good complimentary piece, but we'll get into that a little bit later too. So Herro takes that tough fadeaway on Jalen Wells. Bam was wide open in the mid-range. That's his sweet spot. Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey, they were backed so far off in the paint. Bam easily could have got a look here and really kept things rolling for him. But then the next possession, Bam was able to get a steal, and he went coast to coast with a floater. So Bam still got involved there. He's up to 12 points in the quarter now, and that's with 6.5 minutes to go. And would you believe it if I told you that that was the last time Bam Adebayo was scoring the game? With 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. He only took 3 shots the rest of the quarter. Now, why is that? Why did that happen? Well, after Bam Adebayo hits that floater to get his 12th point of the quarter, Tyler Herro comes down the court and he takes a deep 3. Now, yes, Scottie Pippen Jr. did go under the screen. That's typically not a bad shot for Tyler Herro, even though it was a little bit deep. But when you look at Bam and you're seeing that he's being guarded by the much smaller Brandon Clark, and you know contextually that Bam Adebayo just has the team's 12 of the team's first 14 points in the quarter, you got to go back to Bam Adebayo. You don't take that deep 3 in that spot, especially when Bam has the mismatch. And then the very next possession, Tyler Herro takes a worse shot. He takes a backpedaling Ray Allen Game 6-esque 3, which I hate to compare Ray and Tyler Herro, but you know what I mean. The backpedaling to the corner, Herro's fading backwards and shoots a fadeaway 3 with 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Why? That's back-to-back possessions where Bam Adebayo didn't even get to touch the ball in a quarter that he was cooking. And in this particular case, it was right after Khalil Ware got a steal. So he wasn't even able to get back on defense yet to maybe get you a chance at an offensive rebound. Now, I know there was still 16 seconds left on the shot clock, which means 8 seconds elapsed. Why Khalil Ware wasn't back? I don't know. The camera can't see it. But either way, Herro still should have waited to get your center there to maybe get an offensive rebound before shooting that fadeaway shot. If you were going to shoot it to begin with, which he never should have, he should have looked for Bam Adebayo, who was still matched up with Brandon Clark, by the way, because JJJ was on Khalil Ware, and Brandon Clark was being guarded by Bam Adebayo, who obviously could not guard him at all. And then it was 2 possessions later, Tyler Herro again this time, drives to the rim, actually does a bit of a nice Euro step to get an easy look at a floater. He's like 3 feet from the rim, misses it. And the sad part about this is as he's driving, you can see Bam spotted up in the corner with his hands out. Bam is calling for the ball. He wants the ball. He just hit 2 threes earlier in the quarter. He was wide ass open, ready to hit another one. And Tyler Herro just doesn't give him the ball. Now, this was a good shot by Tyler Herro, was at the rim, but he missed it. How do you miss a shot short when you're 3 feet from the rim? It really has me wondering if Herro's legs are just dead. If everything he did this season I know he had to carry a lot. He was put in a new position with no Jimmy Butler. It really just has me wondering if his legs are shot, because he's missing a lot of these shots short. Now, to give Herro some credit, I do think he took a bit of a leap this season. If you look from last year, he was at about 21 points per game. This year, he's at 24, if you want to round up. Those are still good numbers. And while his 3-point percentage is down from about 40 last year to 37 this year, his overall efficiency is up from 44% last year to about 46% this year. And I do want to give him credit for that. And obviously, playmaking, he's up over a whole assist as well. So I do give him credit for that. But as far as the efficiency, the second half of this season, some things that I think might be able to fix that is maybe Tyler Herro should just go back to the mid-range. You know, he got off to such a hot shooting start this season that I think maybe his confidence led him to believe that would be sustainable. And it's just not, because a lot of those shots that Herro was hitting to start the season from 3 were just ridiculous. And the truth is, it's not sustainable. And I want to note that last year, 45% of Tyler Herro's shots came from 3. And this year, 52% of Herro's shots come from 3. And I do think there's a better balance that can be found. There's a better middle ground where maybe 49% of his shots come from 3 instead of 52. I know these small percentage numbers may not sound like a lot, but over the course of an entire season, it makes a difference. I want to look at his shot charts now to kind of explain that a little bit. We'll start by looking at a shot chart from last season, where in totality, he shot 46 mid-range shots on the right wing and 29 mid-range shots from the left wing. Where this season, he shot 32 mid-range shots from the right wing. That's 14 less right side mid-range shots than last season, 14 less. And from the left side mid-range shot on the wing, he shot 21 this season, 21 attempts. That's 8 less attempts than last season. So he's shot less attempts in both areas. And keep in mind that last season he played 42 games and this season he played 64. So he's played 22 more games this season, but shot less mid-ranges in both areas than he did last season, which is just crazy to think about. I do wonder the impact of Erik Spoelstra on all this, because of course Herro's shot diet to start the season, we do believe was a result of Spoelstra saying in the preseason, no mid-ranges, just 3s or layups because the analytics said so. And I don't really think that's been beneficial to this team, especially for Bam Adebayo. Bam has obviously struggled for the first half of the season before coming on as of late. And I think a big reason of that is because Bam thrived in the mid-range last year. So for Spo to come into this season and say, hey, let's not take any mid-ranges anymore, of course your star player, your captain, is going to struggle because you're eliminating the spot where he was so effective last season. I also wonder how the whole Jimmy Butler saga has impacted these guys. Because yes, Jimmy's missed a lot of games in the past, so we have seen Herro and Bam get ample opportunities to be the guy in a game. But it's a little bit different when at those times they know Jimmy is coming back and they only have to take over for maybe a few games at a time. But right now, they know in the back of their head, Jimmy Butler is never coming back to save them. So that does have a bit of a mental aspect to it all. And also just Jimmy being in and out of the lineup for the first half of the season can affect a lot of things. And then, of course, without him, a guy whose usage is relatively high, at least when he was trying, it just impacts the roles of everyone else on the team. So it does make it a bit tricky. And I think next season might be a good barometer for how these guys fare as the number 1 or 2 options. Although at this point, I'm fairly confident when I say that Herro can't be the guy on a championship team. Maybe he can be the 3rd best player or 2nd best scorer, but I don't think he can be the guy, although I still think he has a lot of potential because he is a skilled scorer and he can play make. Like, he's not Terry Rozier who just jacks up terrible shots. He is certainly someone that I trust to make some plays, and his chemistry with Bam Adebayo is not that bad either. But hopefully the Heat have their mind made up on Tyler Herro because he does become max extension eligible on October 1st, where Herro can get a 3-year, $150 million extension where he'd be making $46 million in 2027, 2028, with $50 million and $54 million the following seasons. And at this point, I just don't think Herro is worth that money. But anyways, I had a whole other section of this video I wanted to talk about, which was this Adam Barai tweet that he put out, basically stating, would you rather have Tyler Herro or the 4th pick in the draft with the rights to get VJ Edgecombe? But we've been talking for a while, so I think I'm going to save that topic for another video. So make sure y'all subscribe so you don't miss it. Let me know your thoughts down below on Tyler Herro. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff is greatly appreciated. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.